Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, new clues in the search for a killer, a powerful earthquake, and the last stop for Taylor Swift. Police looking for this man seen smiling in new images, suspected of gunning down the CEO of UnitedHealthcare on a New York City street. Authorities trace his steps, the new details including the hostel he stayed at.
Bitter cold blast. Wind chills dipping into the single digits. Millions of Americans under wind and snow alerts.
State of emergency. A powerful 7.0 earthquake rocking Northern California. The area's largest in 3 decades. Residents hit with more than 30 aftershocks.
We have a busy Friday morning here. James Longman is live at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris for us, as it's set to reopen to the public this weekend, 5 years after that devastating fire.
It is truly spectacular in that building. Also ahead, we are tracking the new study on Ozempic and how it could be linked to lower risks for dementia.
First, the murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. The search for the killer is intense. Police have released clear surveillance video of his face. We're also learning new details about his movements. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky tracking it all. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. As this manhunt now enters a third day, police have the clearest image yet of the suspect. And the reason they have it is because he was flirting with a girl. This morning, police are confident someone will recognize this suspected killer, seen smiling in images released by the NYPD after the assassination-style murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The images come from a hostel on Manhattan's Upper West Side, where police sources tell ABC News the suspect checked in November 30th using a fake name in a New Jersey ID. And sources say the woman at the check-in desk asked to see his smile, so the shooter obliged, allowing a surveillance camera to capture his face without a mask. The sources say he arrived in New York November 24th on a bus that originated in Atlanta. Greyhound saying in a statement, "We are fully cooperating with authorities on this active investigation." Police are investigating whether the shooter left the city on a bus after the killing. Early Wednesday morning, the suspect was seen with a backpack exiting the subway near the Hilton Hotel. He stopped at a Starbucks to buy water and a snack, and eventually police say he waited for Thompson, approached him from behind, and fired several shots, striking his target in the back and leg. He fled on a bicycle, seen in this video about 15 minutes after the shooting, 30 blocks north, without that backpack. Police sources say shell casings found at the scene had the words deny, defend, and depose, echoing a 2010 book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. Earlier this year, activists protested UnitedHealthcare in Minnesota, accusing the company of greed and pointing out Thompson's $10 million compensation.
Today, value-based care is the centerpiece of our growth strategy.
Thompson, seen here at a 2023 United Health Investor Conference, had been living separately from his wife for years and recently divorced. He was the father of 2 teen boys. His former hometown teacher remembering Thompson for his work ethic.
If he was going to be in band, he was going to be an all-state band player. If he was going to be a golfer, he was going to be one of the better golfers. So I just think that work ethic and that drive probably set a good example for a lot of kids.
With the clear image of the shooter's face now and the forensic evidence detectives have gathered, police say it's just a matter of time before he's identified and caught, even, George, if he's no longer in the city.
And so far, that's the only image we have of his face.
It is the only image, and they are looking for every scrap of video. They have a lot. They have him all over the city, focused on this 10-day period from when he arrived November 24th to the day of the shooting, December 4th. He was in a taxi. He went to a McDonald's. He went to the Starbucks, and he paid cash, and he made sure to keep his mask on, leading police to believe he knew he was coming to the city to commit this murder.
Boy, meticulously planned.
Sure seems like it.
Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. Whit?
All right, George, now to the millions of Americans under snow and wind alerts as a blast of Arctic cold sweeps across the country from the Great Lakes to the Northeast. Alex Perez is in Cleveland, Ohio for us with more. Alex, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Whit. This is what so many across the Great Lakes are waking up to this morning. Snow as far as the eye can see, and in some areas, vicious winds are making getting around nearly impossible.
This morning, millions of Americans remain under snow and cold alerts as winter weather impacts the eastern half of the U.S.
Is anybody ever ready? No one's ever ready for this. So yeah, no, I'm happy to be bundled up right now.
In New Buffalo, Michigan, images like this lake effect whiteout. A doorbell camera in western Michigan capturing the rare weather phenomenon known as thunder snow. In Erie, Pennsylvania, the winter conditions intense and dangerous, causing car crashes, and this jackknife semi, trees downed, and the whiteout conditions leaving some areas practically unrecognizable. Dozens of people working in Harbor Creek Township, Pennsylvania, to prevent a roof from collapsing at a fire department.
And the not so great news, the lake effect snow and these bitterly cold temperatures will be sticking around for many. Rebecca?
We can feel the cold right through the camera. Okay, Alex, get some warmth over there. Thank you. And we're going to go to Ginger now for the forecast from here.
Yeah, that Arctic front brought through kind of a puff of 2 to 4 inches in places like northeastern Pennsylvania, where we have video from that happening. But then it's the lake effect streamers that are coming in behind it. When you get all that Arctic air and you push it against the lakes, which are still quite warm, you're going to make more snow. And so if you're traveling I-80 there through the Allegheny Mountains or down 81 into the Poconos, Catskills, and up to Watertown, that's something to watch for travel, especially this morning. Those warnings go through tomorrow morning. It's not just there where the cold stops, though. Look how far south we're talking. From Charleston, South Carolina, cold weather advisories back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We've got a couple of freeze alerts even into Texas. So yes, it is far spreading, but it is not going to last that long. Y'all, look at this. We're going to see mild weather moving back in by next week, early next week. In just a couple of days, we're back to the 50s here.
Okay. We'll take that.
Yeah, definitely.
And Ginger, you're also tracking this earthquake off the coast of Northern California?
Yes, and so this was a big deal yesterday. Everybody I have in-laws there and everything. So this strong quake originated about 200 miles north and west of the San Francisco Bay. That's 30 miles off the coast, just west of Eureka there. As nearly 3 dozen aftershocks swelled, 500,000 phones buzzed with tsunami warnings, roads cracked, refrigerators slid across kitchens. But thankfully, everybody's safe. This morning, California under a state of emergency as a 7.0 magnitude earthquake rocked Northern California Thursday. The largest quake in 3 decades. Within 2 hours, at least 35 aftershocks rolling through.
And look at the knife stuck in my floor.
Cabinets jolting open, ceilings collapsing, bottles dropping to the floor.
Dad, there's an earthquake happening. Look at the pool.
Pools overflowing.
I feel it. Oh my God.
And roads cracking. This is one of the most seismically active parts of California. The shaking lasting several seconds, with many receiving urgent phone alerts shortly before the quake.
It scared all of us, and then it all started happening. Everything from the shelves fell down, and the lights started going, and people fell down.
There are several types of earthquakes, but this was called a strike slip. Tectonic plates kind of slipping across each other. Doesn't usually result in a big tsunami, but they were very careful and I think did a great job and were able to process and get ready for what inevitably will happen in future. Yeah. A lot of people listened very carefully to those alerts.
And thankfully it wasn't in a more populated area,
yes,
too.
And off the coast that far.
Thank you, Ginger. Appreciate it. We turn now to the Trump transition. The president-elect speaking in New York last night as his pick for defense secretary faces a battle on Capitol Hill trying to win support from Republican senators. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, has the latest. Mary, good morning.
Hey, Whit, good morning. Yeah, the president-elect overnight making those rare public remarks since his win, and he talked up his transition even as this morning yet another one of his cabinet picks is in very real danger of not surviving the confirmation scrutiny. Overnight, Donald Trump celebrating his election victory with supporters in New York, touting his transition.
I think you have seen more happen in the last 2 weeks than you've seen in the last 4 years, and we're not even there yet.
Trump accepting an award for patriotism from Fox News, but notably not mentioning the network's former host, Pete Hegseth, his embattled pick to lead the Pentagon.
I don't answer to anyone in this group, none of you, not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump.
But we've learned Trump has expressed to those close to him that Hegseth should have been more forthcoming about the challenges he could face in the confirmation process, as he now fends off allegations of sexual misconduct, excessive drinking, and financial mismanagement. Multiple sources tell ABC News that Hegseth will be getting an FBI background check. His attorneys saying they received FBI forms this week.
I'm a different man than I was years ago, and that's a redemption story that I think a lot of Americans appreciate.
Hegseth can only afford to lose the support of 3 Senate Republicans and still get the job. Behind the scenes, Trump's team watching closely to see if he can win over female senators, given those allegations and Hegseth's insistence that women shouldn't serve in combat. So far, just 2 of the 9 female Republican senators are on his side, Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee and Katie Britt of Alabama. The support of Iowa Senator Joni Ernst will be critical. She's the first female combat veteran to serve in the Senate and a survivor of sexual assault. But But so far, she's not convinced.
I think for a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared, and that's why we have to have a very thorough vetting process.
Trump posting this morning that Hegseth's support is strong and deep, adding Pete is a winner, and there's nothing that can be done to change that. Also making the rounds on Capitol Hill, billionaire Elon Musk and former Trump rival Vivek Ramaswamy. The two tapped by Trump to lead his new outside advisory group on government efficiency, as overnight new FEC filings show Musk spent over $250 million of his own money to help Trump win the White House.
Now, Pete Hegseth isn't Trump's only cabinet pick, now facing serious pushback. This morning, nearly 100 former national security and intelligence officials in a letter are voicing real concerns about Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's pick, of course, to be director of national intelligence. They are citing her inexperience and urging senators to carefully consider if she's really equipped for the job. George.
And Mary, inside the Biden White House, discussions of possible preemptive pardons for political targets for prosecution by the Trump team.
Yeah, George, look, members of the Biden administration are deeply concerned that Donald Trump is planning to make good on his promises of retribution against his political opponents. And now we have learned that the president's senior aides are weighing preemptive pardons for officials who they fear may be targeted, including former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, the senator-elect, General Mark Milley, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. This is all an effort to try and protect these people before they've even been charged with any crimes. George.
All right, Bruce, thanks very much. Rebecca.
All right, George, thank you. We go now to the economy and the new jobs numbers. Elizabeth Schulze is here with those details. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Rebecca. And this report is critical for anyone on the job hunt. 227,000 jobs were added to the workforce in November. That was more than expected, and it's a big rebound from the 36,000 jobs in October. That was a dismal number that was revised a bit higher. Hurricanes Milton and Helene and that Boeing strike were key reasons for the slowdown. So with most of those impacted workers now back on the job, we are seeing strong hiring in hospitality, healthcare, and manufacturing. Big picture, the unemployment rate at 4.2%, still near an historic low, but employers aren't hiring at the super fast pace that they were at the start of the year. It's taking a little bit longer now to land a new job. Rebecca.
The other major headline people are talking about is this Bitcoin headline, now trading above $100,000 for the first time, Elizabeth.
Yeah, and this has just been a meteoric rise. The price of a single Bitcoin going from $68,000 on election day to just above $100,000. That is up 51%. Investors really are optimistic that the Trump administration will take a friendly approach toward cryptocurrency. Of course, the president-elect helped launch his own crypto venture before the election, and he just nominated a crypto supporter to lead the SEC, which is Wall Street's top watchdog. Keep in mind, though, this is a volatile investment. Just as fast as prices go up, they can come back down to you, Rebecca.
Yes, euphoria always can breed volatility. Thank you, Elizabeth. Whit?
All right, Rebecca, we turn now to a new study finding another apparent health benefit from the popular weight loss drug Ozempic. Eva Pilgrim is here breaking down how this could be linked to lower risks for dementia. This is fascinating. Eva, good morning.
Yeah, truly fascinating. Whit, new information this morning adding to the growing body of evidence about the possible added benefits of GLP-1s, these very popular weight loss drugs, for reducing your risk of dementia. Researchers in this new study asking the question, do all diabetes drugs reduce the risk of dementia, or do these GLP-1s offer an additional benefit? This was a big study. They looked at 500,000 adults with diabetes over the age of 60. There were two groups, those given GLP-1s to manage their diabetes and those given other diabetes medications. They followed them for 5 years, and what they found, those on a GLP-1 reduced their likelihood of developing dementia by 23 to 44%, depending on which medication they were on. Now, this isn't the first study to find these GLP-1s reduce the risk of dementia, but this is more information that helps build the case about the additional benefits of these medications, George.
Okay, Eva, thanks very much. Football time now. Lions beat the Packers last night, setting a franchise record. Big weekend is coming up. Of course, Will Reeve is tracking it. Good morning, Will.
You got it, George. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Since Dan Campbell started as head coach of the Detroit Lions in 2021, he's led a remarkable turnaround. The Lions went from being terrible to now an elite team in the NFL, defined, much like the city they play in, by their grit and tenacity. And the theme for this utterly thrilling game against division rival and fellow Super Bowl contender Green Bay was, to put it in morning TV friendly language, Guts. Too many touchdowns, too little time, so we go straight to the final minute of the game, tied at 31. Now, normally, guys, on fourth down, you punt or you kick a field goal if you're close enough. But the Lions went for it on fourth down 5 times in this game. Excuse me, they go for it here on the Packers' 21-yard line. That's just the second time, George, in 45 years a team has gone for it on fourth down in the final minute of a tie game inside the opposing team's 25-yard line.
He already knew that.
That is an obscure stat and a wild move. Why not just kick the field goal and hope you stop the other team from scoring? Because if you get it, you control the clock and kick the winner as time expires, which is exactly what happens. Rookie Jake Bates. We've talked about him before. This time last year, he was a brick salesman in Houston. Wow. Here he is, drilling the game winner. Lions win 34-31, their 11th straight win.
You had about 5 different conditions to set up that stat.
I really, there was a long lead into that.
It was. Big college football weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Several playoff spots on the line. It's conference championship weekend. Huge implications for that brand new 12-team college football playoff format. So there are 4 so-called power conferences. Each of those conference championship games features a first-year member, and a first-year member hasn't won a conference championship in 20 years. So we could see some history. There's another stat for you, George. And ABC is the place to be. Big 12 championship at noon, SEC championship at 4, ACC championship at 8.
Well, you've got my Friday off to a good start.
And I got your Saturday set for you with all that college football. I know you'll be watching.
Coming up, Notre Dame Cathedral is set to reopen this weekend, 5 years after the devastating fire. James Longman is there live. He takes us inside the restoration to show you what to expect at the ceremony.
Also ahead, the new FBI warning about texting between iPhones and Androids.
And the woman who allegedly stowed away on an international flight is due back in court this afternoon.
We are covering the end of an era this morning. Of course, that's Taylor Swift, her final tour stop. We're going to tell you what's next for Taylor, plus how her fans around the country are celebrating together, even if they do not have a ticket. All the details are coming up, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to GMA. Swifties are brokenhearted this morning after more than 150 shows on 5 continents. The record-breaking tour is ending this weekend, and we're going to tell you how fans are celebrating, what they're anticipating, what George is planning to do with all those friendship bracelets. It's coming up.
How many shows is that now?
Only 2.
Okay.
But plenty on GMA. You know, she's been coming on GMA for more than a long time.
Yeah.
Following a lot of headlines right now, including the latest on the murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. Search for the killer is intense. Police have released clear surveillance video of his face. Sources say he arrived in New York November 24th on a bus that originated in Atlanta. Also right now, an arson attack at a synagogue in Melbourne, Australia. The Australian Prime Minister condemned the anti-Semitic attack. Police are searching for 2 suspects.
The FBI is warning that texting between iPhone and Androids is not secure amid ongoing Chinese hack of U.S. phone networks. The agency recommends using encrypted apps instead. Officials say texting from iPhone to iPhone or Android to Android is still secure. And take a look at this. The moment lumber comes flying off a truck driving on an overpass. This is in Pennsylvania. Look at that, sweeping across the road, slamming into a car. Fortunately, no one was injured. The road was temporarily closed down to clear out that debris. Amazing nobody was hurt there. We've got a lot more coming up here, including how Ariana Grande is defying criticism about her appearance. That's coming up.
Right now, the reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. A ceremony will be held this weekend. Then the public will be welcomed back for the first time since the fire 5 years ago. Chief International Correspondent James Longman is there at Notre Dame. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, George. I stood on almost this exact spot back in 2019 when we watched Notre Dame burn. Over the last 5 years, I've been back multiple times to see it being restored. But now, tomorrow, finally, it'll be reopened. And take a look at it. It's looking better than ever.
5 years ago, one of the saddest days in the history of Paris, the 800-year-old symbol of French religious history and culture engulfed in flames. The crash of that spire collapsing through the roof heard around the world. But this morning, that spire resurrected once again. The world's most famous cathedral has never looked better. Now set to hold an invitation-only reopening ceremony Saturday. And on Sunday, Our Lady of Paris will welcome worshippers once again. This has been Europe's biggest restoration project in a generation. 2,000 specialists, from carpenters and stonemasons to artists and metalworkers. Earlier this year, we got a glimpse of the gleamy new stone, freshly laid tiles and revamped paintwork. I was given a tour of the progress and spoke to the head of restoration.
Can you give us an idea of how much this has cost so far?
Will have costed 700 million euros.
More than 2,000 statues and decorative features were restored or recreated, including the 52 famous Chimera statues. Last month, 3 new bells arrived to the cathedral, one of them ceremonially rung by athletes during this summer's Olympic Games in Paris.
And how does it feel to be here as this cathedral reopens?
It's almost like some divine intervention.
It's such a historic moment. I'm so happy I can be here for it.
And atop that famous spire, once a copper rooster, the unofficial symbol of France, now golden, with flame-like wings resembling a phoenix rising from the ashes.
And of that $700 million plus it took to restore this cathedral, a lot of that was from American donors, and not just big wealthy corporations, but everyday Americans sending a little bit of money just so that they could pay for a piece of history. Lovely. George?
President-elect Trump is going to be there. First Lady Jill Biden is going to be there. I imagine the security is pretty tight.
Yeah, really tight, George. In fact, this entire area is going to be completely closed off. At the moment, tourists can come in, but take a look. There are barricades everywhere. Both sides of the Seine are off limits. You've got armed police on the streets, 6,000 police over this whole weekend. It's a big moment for France. They're not taking any chances.
Big moment for France, and it's kind of a turbulent time in France as well. So what's the mood like over there?
Yeah, it's extraordinary, the timing here, because the government is on the brink of collapse. Emmanuel Macron is fighting for his political life, but politics might be polarizing, but this reopening, it's a moment of unity, something everyone can get behind. George?
Thank you, James. Rebecca?
It is really something to see there. All right, we're going to turn now to the alleged stowaway who flew from New York to Paris, appearing in court, charged with intentionally sneaking onto that flight last week. Stephanie Ramos is here with more. Good morning, Stephanie.
Rebecca, good morning. A 57-year-old woman has been charged in federal court right here in New York City with knowingly and intentionally stowing away on a Delta flight from JFK to Paris. Authorities say Svetlana Dali snuck onto Delta Flight 264 last week without a boarding pass. Dali managed to access the flight through what's known as the crew line, a special area typically reserved for pilots and flight attendants. TSA confirms she bypassed the document check but was screened with other passengers for prohibited items. The big question now is how she slipped through that security gap. Flight attendants only discovered her once the plane was airborne, when they questioned her boarding pass and found it didn't match her name. A few days later, in this tense moment when officials were getting ready to send Dali back to the U.S., she begged not to return. We don't know why. She was so unruly, though, they took her off that plane. This incident is raising serious concerns about security there at airports, especially during the busy holiday season. Authorities are now investigating how this could happen as the holiday travel rush has airports packed. A judge has ordered Dali's detention until this afternoon while she works on her bail, but she has yet to enter a plea, guys.
Still so many questions about this case. Stephanie, thank you so much. Now with Taylor Swift, the superstar is wrapping up her Eras tour this weekend, bringing the nearly 2-year record-breaking event to a close. Will Reeve is back with more, including some of the people who say Taylor changed their lives. She changed all of our lives to some degree.
She did, and this tour changed economic prospects for entire cities as well. And the cultural impact as well of the Eras tour is a phenomenon on a global scale. And yet, for so many Taylor Swift fans, the experience has felt utterly personal.
Welcome to the Eras tour.
This morning, it's the end of an era. Music superstar Taylor Swift's wildly successful Eras World Tour officially coming to a close this weekend, with 3 stops in Vancouver, Canada.
You're making me feel excellent right now.
The 14-time Grammy winner performing 152 shows in 54 cities across 5 continents to 6 million people who bought tickets for the tour, making it the highest grossing tour in history, with an expected $2 billion in sales during its 2-year run. But this tour has been extraordinary for another reason. It was a rebirth of sorts coming out of a pandemic, ushering in a new kind of concert, an all-family affair, putting kindness and inclusivity first.
The Eras Tour really fostered this sense of community in a lot of ways, and it really brought all different types of people together in celebration of their favorite pop star.
Fans connecting through friendship bracelets inspired by this lyric. Trend taking on a life of its own.
Oh my gosh, you look amazing!
It's karma at its best. 12-year-old Ellie has collected 1,500 bracelets from Swifties all over the world. And she says Swift's push of inclusivity changed her life.
I haven't really felt like I fit in. And Taylor's really helped me push through all of that.
She didn't really have a lot of friends when she started this journey. And it just was so beautiful for other people to see like her in the way we saw her.
After the Vienna concerts were canceled due to a thwarted terrorist plot, undeterred fans took to the streets of the city, holding their own mini concerts. This little girl, who had tickets for one of those shows, later surprised with new tickets from her grandfather.
All right, I got 2 tickets for Friday night. And I'll write your name.
We appreciated that Taylor kept us all safe, but it was kind of heartbreaking too. But, you know, what did you do?
I pushed through, I shake it off like Taylor Swift would.
And while the tour may be coming to an end, it could signal the beginning of a new kind of concert experience everywhere.
She really has presented and almost required in some ways this kindness of her fans and this safe space for her fans. And I think that that's resonated in really, really big, amazing ways.
Those shows are a spectacle, as a few of us, including myself, can attest. Here I am at the final show of the North American leg of the tour last summer with great seats. It was a great time. And now, at last, just 3 final shows on this singular experience with.
And in that video, you can see George in the mosh pit, right all the way in the front row.
I think George got the tent, you know, where all the cool people hang out.
Yeah, right? All right, well, if you can't make it this weekend to Vancouver, Will Gans is here with how fans are celebrating and what Swifties have to look forward to. Some surprises, maybe.
That's right, Wade. It's been a long time coming. An epic final Eras weekend for Swifties both in Vancouver and for those of us watching from afar. All tour long, fans have hosted live streams of each concert on social media, and now those watch parties are moving to the real world, the way people watch the Super Bowl with their friends IRL. Why? Because this is our Super Bowl. There are organized events in Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and the watch party I'm going to here in New York has 1,400 people RSVP'd for Sunday night. As per usual, Swifties have been digging through potential clues and Easter eggs, hoping that this could be the weekend that Taylor announces Reputation, Taylor's version, a behind-the-scenes documentary, or more. And it's not unheard of because she announced both Speak Now and 1989, Taylor's version, during tour stops in Nashville and Los Angeles, respectively. And guys, I'm not even the biggest Swiftie here. Right, George?
We are going to pound this into the ground.
Yes, we are, of course. He's either the biggest Swiftie or like dad of the century.
It's dad.
Yeah. You gotta reframe it.
Well, I love also that you've got the bracelet there on the counter as
a little
opposed
birdie.
to
Right.
the 5 that you had on your arm at the concert, George.
I heard Folklore was one of your favorite albums, so that's a Folklore reference for
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the bracelet.
Yeah, you got it.
Of course, we have a play of the day. Sam's here.
Hey, George, we do need it. Come on.
Yes, we
Maybe
do.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try to deliver. So wedding parties are always fun. Take a look at this band at a wedding reception in Livingston, New Jersey. Actually, I need you to focus on this trombone player. He is letting loose and putting on a show. He is doing everything, living his best life in that moment, even while dancing on the floor and doing the splits.
Wow.
Wait till you see it. Yep, right in the trombone for the crowd. Hey, it's actually a Grammy Award-winning trombonist, Jonathan Ahrens. This isn't just anybody. He's played with artists such as Aretha Franklin, Alicia Keys, Bon Jovi, Pharrell. Plus, he's been a member of the Dancing with the Stars Orchestra, so maybe that's where the move is. Is that where the move? I tried to use that, Dancing with the Stars. It just didn't work out for me. Imagine hiring. So one of the wedding guests actually said, imagine hiring the wedding band and getting this as a bonus. So they had nothing for. Look at that. They had nothing but love for him, and that's our play of the day.
He really brought it.
Yeah.
Sure. You're sticking around.
I am sticking around. We have a little special pod news.
Excellent.
Bring the trombone.
We'll be right back.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. New clues in the search for the man suspected of gunning down the CEO of UnitedHealthcare on a New York City street. Seen smiling in new images. Authorities trace his steps. We have new details, including the hostel he stayed at. Bitter cold. Wind chills dip into the single digits. Millions of Americans under wind and snow alerts.
Ariana Grande pushes back against body shaming.
I've heard every version of it, of what's wrong with me, and then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons.
The Wicked star's message to critics about her appearance and how she says she deals with the pressure.
What type of sleeper are you? Night owl, early bird, or in between? How understanding your pattern can help you get the most out of your day, and what you can do to change your natural rhythm.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. And we're getting into the Christmas spirit this morning with our Jolly Holiday Countdown, with everything from the right stuff on personalized gifts to getting your spread decked out with dollar store savings and taking your holiday cookies for Santa to the next level. As we say,
Good morning, America.
And everyone you meet.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
Good morning, America. Hope you're doing well this Friday morning. We have a nice crowd here in Times Square, braving the cold and having a lot of fun.
From all over the country. It's so special to have them here with us on this Friday. And it's less than 3 weeks, George, until Christmas. If you're still looking for that perfect gift, Lori B has you covered with customized ideas. But you're going to have to act fast to get these in time.
Also ahead, a lot of people talking about this, how understanding what type of sleeper you are can help you get the most out of your days and what you can actually do to change your natural rhythm.
First, look at the top stories breaking today. We start with the murder of the UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. The search for the killer is intense. Police have released clear surveillance video of his face, and we're learning new details this morning about his movements. I want to go back to our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. This is the clearest image police have of the killer, and they're confident somebody must recognize him. Police sources tell ABC News the killer entered New York by bus November 24th when a surveillance camera at Port Authority bus terminal caught his arrival at 9 p.m. Police are investigating whether the suspect left the city by bus the day of the shooting, December 4th. The inbound bus originated in Atlanta, but it's not immediately clear where the suspect boarded, somewhere on that I-95 corridor. The 10-day period is the focus of investigative efforts now. Police have collected a ton of video of the suspect all over the city. He's in the subway, he's in cabs, at a Starbucks, a McDonald's. Each place he paid with cash, and he made sure to keep his mask on, which indicates to detectives he knew he was coming to the city to commit the murder. The suspect likely checked into the hostel on the Upper West Side on the 24th, checked out, then checked back in again November 30th. So it's not clear when the surveillance image was captured, but the check-in clerk asked the suspect to lower his mask so she could see his smile. The shooter obliged. But this was more than flirtatious. The desk clerk is required to match a guest's face with a photo ID. So the suspect checked in under a fake name using a New Jersey driver's license. But guys, if it's not for this desk clerk, police may still not have such a clear image of the killer's face.
Wow, thank goodness for that. Okay, Aaron, thank you. And we're going to turn now to Ginger, tracking the blast of Arctic cold sweeping across the country. We just felt it. We were just outside and we felt it for real.
Amazing that we've got such a crowd out there this morning. They're very resilient. Yes, that cold air has made more lake effect snow, and actually Erie, Pennsylvania now, more than 2 feet above average so far for the season. That's considerable, and a lot of places are picking up that much and more. With that Arctic blast, you're going to see some of those streamers still coming into northeastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, western New York, and in Michigan there. So keep a look on those if you're traveling 81 or something like 80 or 90. Also, cold weather advisories go all the way from Baton Rouge up to Charleston, West Virginia. It's right through Pensacola and our friends there, Mexico Beach or Apalachicola. And then the milder weather is about to move in. Temperatures by early next week in New York City in the 50s, and even Chicago gets up to the 50.
We'll take it.
Yes.
A little improvement.
Yep.
Thank you, Ginger. Appreciate it. All right, now to college football conference championship weekend. ESPN college football reporter Jess Sims is in Atlanta, where one of the weekend's biggest games will be played later on. Jess, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Listen, we are still trying to recover from last week's rivalry week, but it's on to the next. We got conference championships now because right around the corner is the first ever 12-team college football playoff, and the stakes could not be higher. Now, the top 4 teams will secure the first the first 4 teams will secure the first round byes, and then seeds 5 through 8 are going to host the first round, which has never happened in the history of college football, so fans are so excited. But right now, though, all eyes are on the rematch between number 5 Georgia and number 2 Texas. This is the SEC championship, and the Bulldogs have handed already the Texas Longhorns their first and only loss this season in Week 8 in Austin, and they are not happy about that. And it is the only Since 1909, it would be the first time that they've been beat by the same team twice in one season, so they're definitely seeking revenge. The game will be played here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is essentially a home away from home for the Bulldogs. But don't you worry, according to Vivid Seats, there's going to be a healthy 60-40 split. So the Texas Longhorn fans are going to be making the trip. ESPN will be here. As you can see behind me, we got SEC Fanfare, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, and then we have a huge slate of games for the rest of the day. At noon, we have the Big 12 Championship, 4 p.m. the SEC Championship, and 8 p.m. we close it out with the ACC Championship, all Eastern time, all on ABC and streaming live on ESPN+. George?
What a big weekend. Okay, thanks very much. Now to Disney CEO Bob Iger. He was honored last night by the Ad Council, receiving the organization's award for public service. He was recognized for Disney's outstanding corporate citizenship.
We need organizations like the Ad Council to remind us constantly that it's just not about business, it's about being good citizens of the world. And we try to live up to that at Disney. It makes me proud to work at such a special place. And that's a legacy that actually Walt Disney set himself.
And it's been continued by Iger. Under Iger, Disney has committed $100 million to reimagine the patient experience in children's hospitals, helped grant more than 155,000 wishes through its long-running collaboration with Make-A-Wish. The annual Public Service Award dinner was co-hosted by Angela Bassett. You see her right there. Raised a record-breaking $9.2 million for the nonprofit's national social impact campaigns. Robin Roberts and David Muir both there as well as ESPN's Al Duncan and Desmond Howard. And this award came on Walt Disney's birthday. Bob noting last night that Walt believed deeply in bringing joy and inspiration to those in need the most, especially to children. We always love when we showcase Make-A-Wish here on GMA.
Yes, we do, and makes you proud to work for this company as well.
Yeah, huge.
Coming up on our GMA morning menu, how understanding your sleep pattern can help you get the most out of your day and what you can do to change it.
Also ahead, Ariana Grande firing back at people criticizing her appearance.
Plus, we are elevating your holiday cookies. New York Times Cooking's Vaughn Vreeland is going to show us how to glow up store-bought cookies. And Sam is in the holiday spirit.
I am. You guys get ready to come upstairs with Lori B up here, guys. Lori, everybody loves customized gifts, but is it too late?
Oh, no, I'm going to tell you all about it in the right stuff.
All right, so customized gifts in the right stuff. Also, we're going to glow up your holiday party. Get ready for food that doesn't break the bank. It's coming up right here on GMA. I love these with the name on the back.
So cute, right?
We're back now with our GMA cover story. Ariana Grande responding to comments about her appearance throughout the Wicked press tour. Eva Pilgrim is back with that story. Eva, good morning.
Good morning again, Whit. Her movie Wicked doing wildly well, a blockbuster hit. But a lot of people aren't just talking about how incredible she was in the film, but focusing instead on her appearance.
I know about This morning, pop star and actress Ariana Grande addressing criticism about her appearance in an interview with French journalist Salima Poumga.
I've been kind of doing this in front of the public and kind of been, a specimen in a petri dish really since I was 16 or 17, you know. So I have heard it all. I've heard every version of it, of what's wrong with me. And then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons. There's a comfortability that people have commenting on that I think is really dangerous.
It's not the first time Grande has candidly spoken out about comments on her physique, posting this TikTok last year.
I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what.
Dear Galinda, you are just too good. As Wicked dominates the box office, raking in more than $380 million worldwide so far, The Good Witch sharing a key takeaway from the film.
This is a story about love. We all have that opportunity that Glinda has in the Ozdoes Ballroom to turn it around.
And you see Cynthia Erivo there. She's speaking up about the bullying her co-star has experienced online, saying cyberbullying is quite dangerous. It's easy to be behind the computer typing words about people you don't know, going on to say what a person who has never met you thinks is never more important than what you think of yourself.
Ooh, good one.
Ariana offering advice to others experiencing cyberbullying. Delete the apps if you need. Don't hesitate to avoid negative people in real life. And y'all, this one I love. Block them online.
Yeah. A lot of good advice there.
When will we stop?
Yeah. Thank you, Eva. We're going to go now to our series, The Science of You. This morning, new research focusing on the type of sleeper you are. Becky Worley has the details. Good morning, Becky.
George, good morning. Here's the question. Are you a night owl, an early bird, or somewhere in between? The scientific concept of your chronotype can help decode your sleep patterns and help you work with them instead of against them.
Good morning. It's 5:45.
Arkansas middle school teacher and mom Emily Harrell says she's always been up and at 'em.
Do you describe yourself as an early bird?
I've always been more productive in the mornings. I have such a hard time getting stuff done in the afternoon. Sometimes when I'm wanting to run errands, I'm like ready to go. It's 7:30 in the morning and a lot of places aren't even open. So I have to just kind of twiddle my thumbs until it's time to go.
Whether you're a morning person who's waiting for the grocery store to open or a night owl who gets their best work done at midnight, understanding your chronotype and its implications might be of help.
Our society is set up to favor the early bird, and I think that night owls kind of get a bad rap.
Your chronotype is the characterization of when you prefer to go to bed and wake up. And scientists are only beginning to unlock this aspect of human behavior, which can be inherited, suggesting a DNA link. But it can also be influenced by factors like age and gender.
We have a whole set of genetics that control 24-hour rhythms in the body, including sleep-wake cycles.
But what happens when our natural chronotype doesn't match with the rest of our life, like work?
Someone with a later chronotype might feel more dragged out and tired during the day if they're waking up too early. They also can develop more of an insomnia at the beginning of the night because they might be trying to go to bed earlier than their body wants.
But it is possible to change your natural rhythm.
You can train yourself to be a little more of a night person or a little more of a morning person.
It's not your fault. And it doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you can't succeed. It means you have to put in a little more effort to find a routine that works for you.
So how can you alter your chronotype? Experts say changing your regular waking, eating, and exercise times and keeping them consistent is one way to shift your chronotype. But Dr. Grandner says do it gradually. You don't want changes to be abrupt. It's more like you've traveled over a few time zones, aim for 1 or 2 hours of shift. Also, you can work with your chronotype. Emily, our mom and teacher from the piece, says if she's out at night with friends, she tries not to be the driver because she just gets sleepy. Guys, remember the last time we were up late? 8:30, 8:45? Ooh, that's rough for us, right?
1876.
Thank you, Becky. How about some pop news, Sam?
All right, let's do it, George. We're going to begin with something that actually sounds a little sad as a start, but it ends out with a lot of love. It's the end of the Eras Tour, by the way, and the love story, ding, that Taylor Swift has created over the last 21 months with her record-breaking tour, her fans, and the world. Now, you might think you've seen this film before. Ding! It's a special, you'll understand why in a minute. It's a special ride for the Swifties taking the world by storm, especially here at GMA, where no one felt the need to calm down here. Truly. Ding! Right, thank you. Starting with, of course, our anchors. Lara and Robin have both shaken it off. Ding! Along with Taylor on tour. Now, George went with his daughters. George, you knew this was coming. To see her shows in New Jersey and Miami. It was even captured on camera, belting out all too well. Ding! But let's, George, we got... Can I say you are so in there, right? You are feeling that moment, George. And I feel it with you. I really do.
I'm glad I could bring you some joy.
But it wasn't just the anchors, and it wasn't just you, our writers, our producers, our correspondents, and more getting back together, ding, and singing along to every era. They saw Taylor literally around the world. So did you, from Miami and Philadelphia to New York, Los Angeles, Dublin, Munich, London. I could go on. A few of our co-workers' daughters had their wildest dreams, ding, come true, celebrating some of their first ever concert experiences with Taylor herself. And there's so much more to come with Taylor's final bow happening this weekend in Canada. But are you ready for it? Ding. And if you were counting, thank you for counting. But if you weren't and didn't notice the dings, we got 8 song references in there. No, it was 8, but I still think I beat Will Gans. I think I did.
I think so.
Good.
We need a scoreboard, though. We gotta keep track. There's a lot of dings.
But I will tell you, my joyous moment was just seeing you kind of just like unleashed and happy. Yeah. I loved that. All right, now for a question. Could you play the queen of country music? Dolly Parton announcing a national casting search to find someone to take on a new 9 to 5, playing her in the upcoming Broadway production of Dolly, an original musical. Check it out.
Hey there, it's Dolly, and I'm so excited to share some big news with y'all. I want to give you the chance to help me bring my story to Broadway, and maybe even play me. We're looking for talented performers who can capture the spirit of my journey, whether you're an experienced theater professional or an undiscovered gem with that little special something.
This is amazing because that is the legend. Auditions due in just 5 weeks. As Dolly says in her video, break a leg. This is a national call. If you think you've got it, get in there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Santa is saying goodbye to that bowl full of jelly because this year it seems like Santa's super fit. Some might even say sexy Santa this holiday. Take a look. This holiday season is hotter than ever, starting with Netflix releasing their film Hot Frosty. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
My wife made me start watching.
You people need to calm down. Merry gentlemen, ditching the sweaters and cookies and leaning, one might even say ripping, because look at these abs, into their versions of holiday hunks. And it's paying off, because when Hot Frosty debuted, it was Netflix's most watched movie of the week. Seriously, people, calm down. 16 million views in the first few days, and that's not all. Target has also put out an ad that is the internet's new obsession, featuring a hunky Santa that had one person online joking, "This makes Santa slay." Now, sleigh bells ring. That's S-L-A-Y. Totally different sleigh, ladies and gentlemen. Wrong for the holiday. And of course, there's one mall Santa in Florida that's also going viral. Paul Mason is a former model and considers himself a fashion-forward Santa. He literally goes by #FashionSanta on Instagram. Now, Paul is clearly skipping the milk and cookies on this one and looking good. Are you guys ready for Hot Frosty and Hot Santa?
Wait, we started watching the movie. I'm telling you, my wife's like, "Oh, everybody's watching it." I fell asleep. It was a good movie. All right, we got to go to Ginger for the weather. Hey, Ginger.
Aren't you all questioning why we haven't seen Miami Beach Santa and it's Sam, like dressed up?
Okay,
come on. We go now to our jolly holiday countdown and the right stuff. If you're looking for meaningful gifts, nothing says I get you like personalized presents. Lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamato is here with some unique items. So great to see you, Lori. Good morning.
So great to see you.
These are cute.
And I get you, Rebecca. I get you so much that if you'll look down here, do you recognize the little face on that little lady down there?
Oh dear, me.
It's you standing next to our Funko Pop of Sam Champion. So this is so fun, really highly customizable from Funko Pop. You can now pop yourself.
Oh boy.
You guys, so many.
I don't know about buying myself, but maybe someone else could.
Someone else. Or you could do one of Matt for yourself, for your desk.
That would be super
We got George and Robin and Michael here. You can see everybody here. It's so good, right? And these start at $30. They're so much fun to create. You can do skin tone accessories. Really, the options are endless. And if you don't want to do that, you can still get the collectible Funko Pops. We've got Moana here, Captain America. So there's something truly for everyone there.
Okay, books.
Okay, books. We really had you in mind when we were doing this. This is from Wonderbly. So if you're gifting to a little kid this year, these are great books, especially if it's an early reader. So you can see we have I'm an Isabella Corn.
She will love that.
And then we have I Spy Leo over here.
And you've got Stella, your girl.
Yes, that's right. So this is a great way to get kids to see their name, you know, because you're a mom.
Yes.
When kids hear their own name,
They love it.
It instantly engages them, right? So this is a great way for language acquisition, the repetition, they get to see themselves, and you can customize skin tone, hair color, eye color, and all that jazz right in these books. Those start at $44.95.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm obsessed with this
Yes.
from Minted, who has long been, you know, supporters of independent designers. So when you're getting your holiday card, you can also pick up these hand-painted ornaments. These start at $55. You can see here we did Michael Strahan's 2 doggies.
So cute.
So adorable, a childhood home. And then we couldn't forget our GMA letters. They're beautiful, high quality, and they actually look so much more expensive than they cost. So you want to make sure you're going to order everything today, though, Rebecca, because these are customizable.
Okay, and you've got the QR code on your screen right now.
And you've got the QR code, and these are from Vistaprint. So nobody loves a personalized calendar more than this lady. These are so much fun to make, great for grandparents, great for somebody who just has a lot to do, doesn't want to be always on their phone looking at it. You see we have some GMA family calendars here, and you can really even put things like doctor's appointments, birth dates, you know, yearly funny things. You can make those with Vistaprint, and they're having a 50% off sale right now. So you're definitely going to want to check that out immediately.
Excellent.
And finally, who doesn't love a sparkly little bauble? These are from Abbott Lion. Now, here's the thing. You can get them customized. You can see we have names here that are done in cursive. But if you don't have that kind of time, think about when is that person born? What is their birthstone? So you can do things and lean into that and get them a little bit quicker. You don't have to wait for them to be customized. Or if you want to just do an initial, those are the sorts of things that will be in stock. Really great. These start at $95, high quality, really affordable luxury. But I do want to tell you, Rebecca, that almost everything here has a digital discount, but you have to do it today.
Okay, and that's, and by the way, these products, they have that exclusive GMA discount, so you can scan that QR code right now at the bottom of your screen. Thank you, Lori B.
Thank you so much.
Always,
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And coming up, we are helping you up your holiday cookie game. We're eating.
I might crash that
Please
segment.
join us.
I've had the most incredible life. I don't really look back that much. I'm a person who looks forward.
Good Morning America next week, right before the release of his highly anticipated documentary, Never Too Late. Elton John, exclusive. From his incredible career to his battles with addiction to how he's doing now. And what about his friendship with John Lennon?
How does that still impact you today?
Elton, Robin.
I'm still standing after all this time.
I'm still standing, and I am better than I ever did.
Only on
Good Morning America.
Wow.
Oh, we're looking forward to that conversation. Robin's interview with Elton are right here on GMA next Wednesday, December 11th. Whit?
All right, George, thank you so much. Our favorite part of the morning here to our jolly holiday countdown and a holiday cookie glow up. We're all getting ready, and Vaughn Vreeland from New York Times Cooking is here in the house to show us how to take store-bought cookies and then elevate them so that they can look and taste much better. Ready for your party. Vaughn, good morning. It's
Good morning, Whit. Good to see you too. Good to see you too.
So the first one here, we're actually taking store-bought cookie dough, and you're going to level it up for us.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, but I find that store-bought cookie dough now isn't as chocolatey as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with big cookie dough?
Yes.
I don't know. But I like to actually just take, like, you know, a chocolate disc, or you could take a kiss, make a little thumbprint cookie out of it. It just adds a little bit more. You could sprinkle some flaky salt on top, really make it fancy.
I like that.
But that's like a nice way to level it up.
Perfect.
You know?
And then you were also telling me, so for people like me who don't even want to open the oven, we can get like a store-bought, you know, case of cookies here and razzle-dazzle it a little bit, right?
We always have solutions for people like you.
Yes, that's right. Thank you very much.
We've got some melted chocolate here. I just blitz it in the microwave. Make sure you stop it maybe every like 15 seconds.
I can use a microwave.
You can do this, yes, you can do this. And then I just like to drizzle the chocolate. Now, you see here the first plop is always going to be a little bit bigger, but then you just drizzle it like that.
Okay.
And then while the chocolate is setting, that's for you.
I can do a little drizzle.
You can then just make it your own, you know?
My drizzle's not as good as your drizzle, but it's all right. That
looks great.
I got it. So while I'm working on these,
Vaughn, I love that you're here. No apron for you, but we've got our aprons on.
I mean, I make a mess too, believe me.
Well, store-bought.
Yes.
Sometimes store-bought sugar cookies, they come like this oftentimes, but you say you can make them much more pretty. You can jazz them up.
Yeah, give them a little glitz, a little glam, like I got in the makeup chair this morning. So basically, this is already pretty sticky.
So you do it whole.
You can just do it whole. cold because this is a slice and bake, and it makes it so much easier if you want to try.
I do the red?
Yeah. And it just adds a little glitz, a little glam, and then you slice and you bake it.
I wouldn't have thought to do it with it whole.
And you could do sprinkles. You can do really whatever you want. Nuts on the outside.
And then these, obviously, if you're buying them from the store, there's fun things you can do as well.
Yes, I mean these are great in a pinch. They do look a little sad, so we want to just make them look happy, you know. So again, like we did with the chocolate over there, you've got some white chocolate.
This is
here.
white chocolate, just plain white chocolate.
This is plain white chocolate. Microwave blitz it. So sometimes you can put coconut oil in it, but it'll make it harder to set sometimes. It just like depends on how, like the temperature of your kitchen, humidity, and stuff like that. So you just dip it.
Okay.
And then we've got some chopped pistachios, some freeze-dried strawberries, sprinkles, and that adds, you know, color.
Do the dip.
It adds festivity, but it also adds some flavor because these are often really, really sweet.
That's
you know?
fantastic. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to keep working while you go over there to Ginger and Sam.
Can we do gingerbread?
Ginger, got the gingerbread.
Let's
we
do
got
it.
Ginger in the
and
house.
she knows how to do this. You do this at home.
I've done it with my kids several times, and we've done both kinds where we make it, but also the easier way is just buy the gingerbread house, and then you have extra ways to spice that up.
I love store-bought cookies. I love a store-bought gingerbread house. I think that if you get the gingerbread house that has the window already cut out, my favorite thing to do is make it into stained glass. So you can just take
that is fancy.
Yes. So I like to do a little bit of a mix of colors. If you want to try, you can.
So what is this?
This is just Jolly Rancher that's crushed up. You just can crush it up in the wrapper there.
Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, and then you bake it in a low oven, like a 300-degree oven, for like 5 minutes.
That's genius because it's going to stick in there.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
And what you want to do is you want to decorate the sides of your house before you actually assemble it, because it'll make it so much easier.
That makes so it doesn't fall over constantly.
Exactly.
All right, now because we were talking about them falling over, and you're like so petrified, and you've got to do a good roof because that makes everything. Look at the example.
Well, I mean, you see, this house is like 90% roof. Yeah. So basically, you want to make it look good. We added some pecans. I love a cinnamon toast crunch, and while the icing is setting, you just press those in there and make it look like shingles.
Pretty.
I think it looks fabulous.
So you do that before you put the roof on, or after you put the roof on?
So you do that while it's just setting
like
right
that.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ginger, if you wanted to go ahead and have
Paint
fun
a
with the
little.
roof, I mean, obviously there's also like sprinkles, jazz it up with like gumdrops, things like that. But this just makes it look kind of natural, kind of nice.
Yeah.
So does the rosemary, the coconut. You know.
Speaking of the rosemary and having like that outer, you got to give it curb appeal.
Oh yeah.
Like don't just leave it. Right?
To sell this house eventually.
Right, we're going to landscape.
Yeah.
I'm big into like cottagecore. I was like, that was a big part of my TikTok. So I was like, what about rosemary? We've got like thyme, just things to make it look a little bit more natural, you know, before you put all the gumdrops and stuff on it. But
then you could also use this,
you could
right?
also use the coconut. And I always love to take like a little sieve and dust powdered sugar over the top to make it look like freshly fallen snow.
Who has a sieve in their kitchen? Only you. No, okay, Ginger
My
does.
mother-in-law, she made sure I have every sieve.
You can just get it in your hand and go.
Oh, okay, that I can do.
Yeah.
So how did we do over
yes,
here?
please, come join us.
You finished yours. I started eating
I
too
followed
soon.
the rules.
How do
I don't have time, and I know a lot
I'm
of people
racing.
don't, to do the whole baking thing. So to do it this way makes it look special, makes everybody feel special, and it's so easy.
And you know, I have a niece, a couple nephews, and my sister doesn't really trust them too much with a lot of stuff.
I know this.
Yes,
Yeah.
but this is a really fun thing to do with kids too.
And easy to decorate.
And it makes them feel special, like they're doing something creative. And you know, I love making things your own, especially home, like store-bought things. You know, my mom always says it's like putting lipstick on a pig.
The only thing I will say is you can't enter these officially in like an office contest.
Oh,
no.
But for that,
Okay.
you've got the New York Times Cooking Cookie Week recipes.
Oh.
A little plug there.
Exactly.
And we have 7 great recipes this year for the holiday season. You know,
Ginger will be very harshly enforcing the rules at the
Because if Mick walks in with these and he thinks he's winning.
I'm bringing it this way, so that's it.
Can I judge?
You
Yes.
can judge.
Yes,
I'll
you
come
can.
back and I'll judge.
And by the way,
the
what's your
competition.
mom's name?
Denise.
Denise. Shout out to Denise.
Denise, she's the best. Hi, Mom.
Vaughn, appreciate you. Thank you so much. You can get all of these tips and much more. New York Times holiday cookie recipes on goodmorningamerica.com.
Now with more of our jolly holiday countdown. Holiday parties can be a lot of fun, but throwing one can be expensive. So we're taking a trip to the dollar store to prepare a fun spread for less than $25.
'Tis the season for holiday hosting, and there are ways to deck the halls without being the host who spends the most.
Holiday entertaining doesn't have to be a sacrifice. By shopping at dollar stores and discount stores, you can create wonderful, beautiful entertaining on a small budget.
With 2.4 million followers on YouTube, Catherine Sneerly, creator of Do It on a Dime, is sharing how she whips up this impressive party spread for just under $25 using ingredients from her local dollar store.
The first place you want to come is the spice section. You can save so much. All of these are just $1.25. They have tons of noodles at the dollar store with quality ingredients, and I just need, here we go, some pasta sauce. I'm gonna save about 70% by getting my cream cheese from the fridge section, and for just $1.25, I'm going to get some cheddar cheese for my cheese ball. You may not know the dollar stores carry nuts, and they're in smaller quantities. This is about a half a cup, which is exactly what I need for my recipe. We're gonna make a hot cocoa bar that serves 6. You can get 6 packs of hot cocoa for $1.25. Marshmallows, ginger snap cookies, and I'm gonna grab 1 container of whipped topping for a really cool hack for our hot cocoa bar.
After spending under $25 for all the ingredients, now it's time to assemble. For just $4.25, a super fun and crunchy pasta chips with marinara dip. Tossing the cooked noodles and spices and olive oil.
We're gonna make this nice and crispy by popping it in a single layer in our air fryer at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. They are done. Check out how beautiful and crispy these little chips are. These are so good.
For just $7, a holiday cheese ball platter. Start by mixing all the ingredients together, then refrigerate.
We're just gonna sprinkle some nuts. Then I'm gonna take my pretzels and add this to the plate. Really good.
And to finish off, a decadent hot chocolate bar for just $7.50.
My favorite hack is to take some of the whipped topping, and you can put this in cookie cutters, add some sprinkles, and refrigerate for a couple of hours. You can stick this on top of warm hot cocoa. It's gonna melt on top.
And a bonus dessert using what you have. A hot cocoa dip for just $1.25.
All I had to purchase was the marshmallow cream. I don't know who wouldn't want to dive into this. Happy appetizers and happy holidays.
Sam, you're very on board with this.
I am. I love the marshmallow dip idea.
That was a new
fantastic.
idea. By the way, Catherine had another fun tip. While you're shopping at your local dollar store, you want to look for their cute seasonal mugs. They're $1.25. You can give them out at the hot chocolate bar and then send everybody home with their own mug.
Oh,
and you can get all these, and you can get all of the recipes at goodmorningamerica.com. Now let's go back to Ginger.
Yes, we're out here with a wonderful crowd on a freezing morning because there is only 19 days until Christmas, and we have a stocking stuffer spotlight. This segment is sponsored by Thayer's, which has the perfect present for the stockings of the teens and adults on your list. Thayer's says that blemish clearing toner pads are here for you. They are alcohol-free, designed to help clear acne and prevent new breakouts while leaving your skin feeling fresh. Priced at just $10, they make the perfect stocking stuffer without the high price tag. So, who wants some? Who wants some terrific skincare for your loved ones? Shall we do it? You guys are freezing. All of our eyes are out here. We're like, tearing a little bit. You want it for yourself? That's fine. I won't tell anyone. Okay, just a few more. Give them all away. All right, enjoy. Thank you all for being here. Woo, and thank you.
And still to come, Amy Adams talks about her new movie, Motherhood, on and off screen.
We're back with Amy Adams. Her new movie is making headlines. 2020 co-anchor Deborah Roberts spoke with her.
Motherhood is strangely transformative in Amy Adams' new movie.
I'm pretty sure I'm turning into a dog.
How do you find your inner dog? How do you even do that?
She is not that far beneath the surface. No, it was fun. I think I used to be a dancer, and so I always approach roles really physically, but what's so fun about this is the deeper she gets into her feral self, the more powerful she feels. So it was really fun to embody a woman who just didn't care. She has no more you-know-whats to give.
The film Night Bitch, based on the buzzy book with the same name, takes a raw and honest look at a new mom struggling to redefine herself.
And I am deeply afraid that I am never going to be smart or happy or thin
ever again.
So the title, Night Bitch.
Night Bitch.
For a lot of people, that's going to be a hard one to describe when you're talking about this film.
That was the name of the book, and we really just leaned into it, but really is a female dog. It's called that, and that's what she transforms into. I'd go see a film with the title Night Bitch. I'd be like, yeah, I need to know what that's about. It's got a lot of humor and a lot of heart, a lot of sort of universal themes. There was just so much in it that I identified with, not only about motherhood, but about marriage and how that shifts inside of parenthood.
Do you just love getting to be home with them all the time? That's a good question, you know, but it's complicated though.
At the core, you know, motherhood does sort of force women to re-identify themselves.
It does change you so much, and no matter how you come to parenthood and motherhood, I think that sort of investment in another life and just like that sort of focus and the time and the energy and the love that you feel really does transform you.
If you wake him up, I will rip your throat out.
Okay, for what it's worth. I would kill to stay home with him every day.
A lot of women will laugh when they see the parts where the husband is trying to bathe the child or take part of the routine, and he's constantly calling out to her. Bless him.
Bless him. Yeah.
What next? Or can you get me a towel?
Yeah, can you get me a towel? Can you get me toast? Where's this? Where's that? Yeah. That felt familiar, as much as my husband's a wonderful parent and very engaged, but it was so many parts of the relationship felt familiar.
Adams not only stars in, but also produces the provocative film, which has audiences talking.
People really, I think, they feel seen, so they're sharing really intimate stories about their postpartum journey. And then just getting a lot of, even people who don't have kids, like, oh my gosh, this reminds me to call my mom. A lot of men are like, oh my gosh, I totally see myself in this.
Did this film in any way lead you to sort of re-examine your own journey of motherhood, to understand yourself maybe a little more?
It absolutely did. It taught me a lesson that I think I needed to learn about accepting myself.
Giving yourself grace?
Yeah, give myself a break. I can be very hard on myself. I came away with a lot more grace for myself, and it also helped me remember that any of those moments of frustration are so temporary as a parent, and then, sorry, I'll start crying.
Aren't you so tired? All the vehicles are tired. No. Yes. No. Yes.
And then it's done.
And then, I mean, I know it continues, but it changes so much, and it really kind of helped me remember that these moments are fleeting.
For Good Morning America, Deborah Roberts, ABC News, New York.
Well, it looks like a fascinating movie.
Yeah.
Look, Amy, her new movie is in select theaters today, and to hear more from her, our GMA Pop Culture Mom spoke with her. That's available exclusively on our website and YouTube page. Great show to get the weekend started. Thank you for watching, everyone.
And don't miss Wit tomorrow on Saturday GMA.
Yeah,
See you there.
We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.